Tonight on Mello TV Sports, the JFF named the 24-man squad for the Reggae Boys to face off against Saudi Arabia. More results from the UEFA Champions League. And the Mumbai Indians defeat the Royal Challengers Bangalore in the IPL. We kick off Mello TV Sports with football, as embattled forward Junior Flemings has been named in a 24-member Reggae Boys squad for back-to-back friendlies away to Saudi Arabia next month. 4 players have been added to the squad in former Manchester United and England youth product Ravel Morrison, who now plays with Dutch side Adu Den Haag. Now he is joined by wingback Greg Riley of Scottish side Aberdeen, midfielder Daniel Johnson of Preston North End in England, and forward Norman Campbell of Graficar in Serbia. Flemings has been under fire after being accused of using a homophobic slur against an opponent in a UCL game. He has been suspended for the rest of the season, missing the playoffs and subsequently the final for his Phoenix Rising team. Now the other overseas-based players are Leon Bailey, Kamar Lawrence, Dwayne Miller, O'Neill Fisher, Alvis Powell, Adrian Mariappa, Damian Lowe, Michael Hector, Kevon Lambert, Kakeem Paris, Bobby Reed, Shamar Nicholson, and Javon East. Missing from the list is top goalkeeper Andre Blake. The local-based players are Dennis Taylor, Jashawn Anglin, Ricardo Morris, Kemal Malcolm, and Lamar Walker. Those players and staff will be tested for COVID-19 on November 4 and will be housed at the UAE-JFF Captain Horace Burrell Center of Excellence until they depart on November 6. The Reggae Boys face off against Saudi Arabia on November 14 and 17 in Riyadh. Now on to some serious football news now. National player Malik Foster is continuing to count his blessings. This after being shot and injured in a gun attack in Southborough, Portmore last night. Foster is said to have been playing dominoes with his friends when the group was attacked by gunmen. The attack left 2 persons dead. The former Portmore United player suffered a gunshot wound to the neck. Foster last played for Israeli club Hapoel Ironi Kiryat Shimona after also playing in Costa Rica for Deportiva Alajuelense. Now, the 23-year-old has played 9 times for the Reggae Boys, scoring 4 goals. Foster is among at least 4 footballers to have been involved in shooting incidents this year. Marcus Rashford came off the bench to score a hat-trick as Manchester United continued their recent momentum by taking apart RB Leipzig 5-0 in the Champions League at Old Trafford. Rashford came on just after the hour mark and netted 3 goals in 18 minutes. He could have had a 4th, but elected to allow Frenchman Anthony Martial to take a penalty, which he tucked away for United's 4th. Teenage forward Mason Greenwood scored his first goal in the competition, opening the scoring in the 21st minute. In the Group H's other game, last year's runners-up Paris Saint-Germain picked up their first points with a 2-0 win at Istanbul Başakşehir. Everton forward Moise Kean scored both goals as they recovered from losing Neymar to injury in the first half. Elsewhere on the day, Hakim Ziyech scored his first goal for Chelsea, and Edouard Mendy kept his 4th clean sheet in a row in a rampant 4-0 win over Krasnodar. Borussia Dortmund enjoyed a similar win over Zenit St. Petersburg. Lionel Messi and Ousmane Dembele scored as Barcelona comfortably defeated Juventus 2-0 to make it 2 wins from 2. Sevilla were 1-0 winners over Rennes. Club Brugge ended between Lazio 1-1, while it was 2-2 between Ferencváros and Dynamo Kiev. We bowl over to cricket news now. Members of the West Indies team based in the Caribbean departed Barbados yesterday for the tour of New Zealand. Now, the squad members have completed COVID-19 tests and were all given a clean bill of health to travel. On arrival in New Zealand, the squad will be based in Christchurch, where they will quarantine before commencing training and warm-up matches. There are two squads, one for the three-match T20 International Series and one for the two ICC World Chess Championship matches, which follow immediately afterwards. 6 reserve players will travel with the test squad to prepare and ensure replacements are available in case of any injury, and along with other members of the T20 squad will form an A team to play 2 4-day matches concurrently with the test team. This is the West Indies' second tour of this year, the only international team to fulfill 2 away tours during the COVID-19 pandemic. West Indies white ball captain Kieran Pollard today captained Mumbai Indians to another win as they defeated Royal Challengers Bangalore by 5 wickets in Abu Dhabi to move to the brink of sealing an IPL playoff place. Surya Kumar Yadav scored a half-century 79 out of 43 balls after Jasprit Bumrah bagged 3 for 14 as Mumbai successfully chased 164 with 5 balls to spare. Now Pollard went to bat with 7 needed of 7 deliveries and hit a 4 off the lone ball he faced. The Trinidadian had earlier bowled 1 over for 5 runs and taken only 1 wicket as the RCB made 164 for 5. Now further on to this story, Mumbai are now 2 points clear of second place RCB and third placed Delhi Capitals, and their superior run rate means they look all but certain to make the playoffs, even if 5 sides are locked on 16 points at the end of group stages on Tuesday. Boston Marathon organizers today said that the 2021 race won't be run on Patriots Day because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the second straight year that it has to be moved from the April weekend. This was its home for more than a century. About 6 months before the scheduled April 19 date, the Boston Athletics Association said it was postponing next year's race until at least the fall of 2021, conceding that the state won't have sufficiently emerged from the pandemic to allow as many as 30,000 runners and 500,000 fans to gather on the streets from Hopkinton to Copley Square in the spring. Organizers said they hope to work with state and local officials to determine if a fall 2021 date is feasible. The 2020 Boston Marathon was originally postponed from April to September, but it was cancelled outright 2 months later, the first time since 1897 that there was no in-person Boston Marathon of any sort. Now to end tonight's sports package, we present you with Sports Spotlight. In tonight's Sports Spotlight, I want to talk about track and field, and more particularly 2 athletes. And those athletes are from Bahrain, the world women's 400-meter champion Salwa Eid Nasir, and from the United States, the men's world 100-meter champion Christian Coleman. Now, both athletes were provisionally suspended by the Athlete Integrity Unit after WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, reported that these 2 persons missed 4 tests within a 12-month period. Now, Salwa Eid Nasir's ban was lifted due to a misunderstanding after a tester knocked on the wrong door in her apartment complex. However, Christian Coleman's ban was implemented for 2 years until May 2022, with him missing the Tokyo Olympics. Should his ban have been lifted, or should Salwa Eid Nasir's ban been implemented? This has been Sports Spotlight. And those are the stories making sports news tonight. We now head back to the news desk with Shelly and Hill.
Thank you, Christopher. And now to end tonight's newscast, here are the main points. Prime Minister announces that the island-wide curfews and additional measures have been extended. 2 additional persons have died, 1 death is under investigation, and 64 new cases of COVID-19 have been recorded on the island in the last 24 hours. With damage caused by Tropical Storm Zeta at $2 billion and counting, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced that each member of parliament will be allocated $1.5 million from the Housing Fund, and NWC says sections of St. James will be without water tomorrow as it carries out urgent maintenance work at the Pitford Deep Well in the parish. And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. Stay safe and pleasant viewing. I am Shelley-Ann Hill.
The Mello TV Evening News at 8 was brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Reduce your risk of viral illnesses like the flu and coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing with a tissue and dispose of it. Avoid close contact with anyone with the cold or flu-like symptoms. If you think you've been exposed to COVID-19, stay home. Self-isolate immediately and call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.